Well, in recent years, there have been several highly publicized cases of young women kidnapped and held for years as captives before escaping. Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped and held for 9 months. She was found in 2003. And there was the case of J.C. Dugard, kidnapped and held captive for more than 18 years.
You may have caught Dr. Phil on Wednesday, where you heard the survival story from one woman named Tanya Kach, who was kidnapped as a teenager, held for a decade as a virtual slave. Well, she's now written a book about that ordeal, Memoir of a Milk Carton Kid. She spoke with Lynn Hayes-Freeland of our Pittsburgh station KDKA TV. Lynn joins us this morning with more. What a story.
Erica and Chris, Tanya Kach was already a very troubled teenager when this story started, and her problems only escalated when the man she ran to for help and protection turned out to be her captor. In 1996, Tanya Kach was a 14-year-old girl carrying around grown-up problems. Her parents were splitting up, and like most girls that age, adjusting to the teenage years were tough.
My mother wasn't in my life at that point. You know, my dad completely forgot he even had a daughter, you know, and we were living under the same roof. You know, I was hanging around the wrong crowd.
That combination made Kach the perfect target for Thomas Hose. He worked as a security guard at her middle school, and they soon became fast friends. Meeting under the stairwell there, Kach believed she was starting a relationship with a man 25 years her senior, a man who was taking charge.
He was an authority figure, you know, wearing a uniform and a badge, you know, somebody that you would trust, you know, and he befriended me.
But Kach quickly got in over her head. When she ran away from home, she ran to Hose, who was living in this house with his parents and a son. Hose kept her hidden away in a second-floor bedroom for 10 years. Even his parents say they never knew she was there. To the outside world, Tanya Kach was a missing milk carton kid, thus the title of her book.
Absolutely horrible. Sitting stuck in a room, you know, 24/7. You know, being led downstairs maybe once a week to get a shower.
There were times that you didn't have access to a bathroom.
He put a bucket in there and said, "That's your bathroom." I was just so brainwashed. I feel humiliated now. Absolutely.
Kach says her worst memories are the holidays, Christmas Eve in particular. She spent 4 of them inside a closet on the second floor of the Hose home.
Broke my heart. I thought of my family. Wondering if they were thinking about me.
After time, Hose allowed Kach to go on the back porch of the house when he was getting ready for work. She didn't leave because he promised to hunt her down and threatened her life.
He would just point. I was like a dog. And I did what my master told me. I went in the closet.
That lasted for years. Hose made Kach change her hair color and her name. And with those changes came limited freedoms. As she got out, Kach wanted more. She found a friend at a nearby convenience store and one day confided in him that her name wasn't Nikki at all, but Tanya. And she was the girl police had been looking for a decade. He called police and Hose was arrested. Thomas Hose is now serving a prison sentence, but he is eligible for parole in February.
He's an absolute monster. He is, there's just no words to explain him.
So what's next for Tanya Kach? Well, she's working on an associate's degree. She hopes to be a realtor, but still looming over her head is the possibility that Thomas Hose could be eligible for parole in February of 2012. Chris and Erica?
Well, let me ask you a question about that. Is she a little nervous about this? She was held captive for 10 years. He serves a little less than 5. Like you mentioned, he's eligible for parole in February. I'm sure that's a concern.
It is a huge concern for her. In fact, she has not lost sight of the fact that he could be eligible for parole and half the time that she spent in his home. So at this point, she does not want to testify at the hearing, but she does plan to submit testimony, either written testimony or via videotape.
All right, Lynn Hayes-Freeland in Pittsburgh for us this morning. Thank you so much. Good to speak with you.